All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about an idea that, honestly, feels a little bit backwards. It flips our whole obsession with being always on completely on its head. It's called the Velvet Rope Protocol, and it basically says the most valuable thing you can be, it's just a little harder to get.
I mean, really think about that. We're all taught that being responsive, always available, always on call, that's a good thing, right? It shows you're committed. But what if it doesn't? What if it's actually broadcasting the exact opposite message? This is the paradox we're digging into today. You see, to really get this, we have to look at the cost of being too available. And it's a real price. It's not paid in dollars at first. It's paid in perception, in respects, and then, yeah, eventually in dollars.
So let's tell a story. Picture a freelancer. This person is incredibly skilled, delivers amazing work, and is totally dedicated. But there's a huge problem. Despite all that talent, they are chronically, painfully underpaid and undervalued. So the question is, why? Okay, now this right here is where it gets really interesting. Look at the left side. All the things we're told are good. Always on call, answering text instantly, dropping everything for a client. Seems great, right? But now look at the right. Constantly underpaid, frequently ignored, and almost no professional respect. You see, there's a direct, brutal line connecting his total availability to his low status. So what's the deal? What's the invisible force at work here? Well, this isn't just a case of bad luck. It's a fundamental principle of any market. And to get it, you have to start thinking about your time and your attention as a commodity, just like oil or coffee. The source material puts it perfectly. It's just the basic law of supply and demand. But we're not applying it to products on a shelf. We're applying it to something way more personal, the human soul. Your time, your focus, your very presence. And here is the core truth of it all. When the supply of anything is endless, its value just plummets. So when you signal to the world that you have an infinite supply of your own time for other people, you are unintentionally screaming that your time isn't worth much. And this comparison just nails it. A high supply of your time signals desperation. It makes you common. It's like air. We literally need it to live, but because it's everywhere, we don't value it. A low supply, though, that signals value, scarcity. It's like gold. It's rare, it's desirable, and people will pay a huge premium to get it. So staring this reality in the face, the freelancer knew something had to change. But not his skills, not the quality of his work. No, he had to change the supply of his attention. And this is where he brings in a radical new strategy, what the source calls the ghost protocol. This was the light bulb moment. The big aha. His problem wasn't his talent or his portfolio or his work ethic. It was his accessibility. He was just too easy to get a hold of. And that familiarity wasn't breeding appreciation, it was breeding contempt. So what did he actually do? It was pretty simple, really. First, he just stopped answering calls and texts right away. He built in a delay. Second, he started saying no. He became strategically unavailable for meetings or calls that weren't a high priority. And third, and this is the most important part, he put up a metaphorical velvet rope around his time. Getting his attention was no longer a guarantee, it was a privilege. And the results? They were not subtle at all. By changing the supply of his time, he completely transformed the demand for it. He literally went from being treated like air to being treated like gold. This quote really says everything you need to know. The second that velvet rope went up, the entire perception of him changed. His time wasn't a given anymore. It became a luxury item, something people had to earn and value. And remember, he's the exact same person with the exact same skills. Nothing changed but the access. This is the secret right here. He didn't have to send out a memo demanding more respect. He didn't have to argue for his own value. By making himself scarce, this scarcity did all the arguing for him. Perception was transformed without him saying a single word. And the tangible result? The real-world, dollars and cents outcome of this shift from air to gold? Look at that number. His rates tripled. We're not talking about a little 10% raise, 3 times more. All by changing how people could get a hold of him. So it leaves us with a really powerful question to think about. In this world we live in, this hyper-connected world that worships being online 24/7, could it be that the most powerful thing you can do is just disappear every once in a while?